Yeah, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Slim Down Daddy, and I'm here to help you look good in a t-shirt again. Now, today what I want to talk about is diet and the importance of diet. And at the end of it all, you will never outtrain a bad diet. And we've heard it all before that weight loss is 80% diet and 20% training. So we've got to really get that diet side of things absolutely sorted out. Because if we don't, then it doesn't matter how hard you train in the gym or whatever form of training you want to do, you're never going to actually lose weight. It just isn't going to happen. So with eating, I loved my food, man, and I used to eat large quantities. If I went to McDonald's, for example, I wouldn't have just one burger. I'd have two burgers, large fries, and a large chocolate thick shake. If I was having cereal in the morning, I would fill my bowl till it could not take any more, and it would be overflowing. If I went out to a restaurant, I would get every single course that was available. If there was 5 courses, I would have 5 courses, and I would just eat. I loved food, and we all love food. It gives us this kind of a dopamine release. It's something that we do look forward to, and it's something that gives us a lot of pleasure. And I get that. I understand it. And we all have our weak points when it comes to food. And so today I really want to hit on the important part in getting your diet under control, but also how to go about that and doing it incrementally and not actually making this massive change all in the first day and then thinking that this is how life is going to be, because you will get miserable if that's what you do. And oftentimes it's why there are a lot of diets out there that can work very well. You can lose weight, but they're never sustainable because it just feels like a massive chore. And what you've got to develop for yourself is a diet plan that is sustainable, something that suits you, something that you actually find fun. And so when I started, I just, and I've mentioned this in another video, is that I just changed one thing in my diet because I felt that that was the easiest thing to do, and I just stopped having sugar, and over a 3 week period I lost 5 kilos, and then from there I started to drop out other foods that I felt that I could sustain for a period of time, that was going to work, that was actually going to make an impact. The second thing was bread. I cut out bread. But along with bread, it was things like, because I'd cut out the sugar, I no longer ate the cakes and the slices and what have you. So I always used to love, and I still do love them, but I really, really have one, is cheese scones. Because they're so fattening. They might seem fairly innocent, but they are seriously fattening. And it's those things that I cut out, and I did that for quite some period, and I managed to actually start dropping weight at a consistent rate once I got that under control. And what I found and what I discovered was that it was almost like a bit of a revelation, is that in order to eat healthy, you just have to eat single ingredient foods. So that gives you it actually gives you quite a range of foods that you can eat. And that way you don't get hooked up in calorie counts. You don't get hooked up on how much protein you're having, carbs you're having, fat you're having, all those macronutrients. And although I do monitor those things now, because a lot depends on what your training goals are. But in order to lose weight, you don't need to get bogged down with all the detail. And so single ingredient foods became almost a revelation to me. And so going to the supermarket, for example, you'll find all your single ingredient foods on the outside of the supermarket. You go into the centre aisles and you get your multi-ingredient foods, like your muesli bars and other bits and pieces. So that's something that I got onto, and basically my diet now is, for breakfast I make a homemade muesli which is made up of oatmeal, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, almond nuts, sultanas, and I put just a little bit of a raw sugar with it, just to give it just that little bit of sweetness. I can afford to get away with that, and you will discover what will work and what doesn't work and how much you can have. Bread, for example, I do eat bread, but I limit it to 3 slices a day. I find if I eat more than that, I just get a little bloated, and it's, yeah, I don't want that. So it's usually a homemade muesli for breakfast. I have cheese and crackers mid morning, which I use a very low fat cracker, but it's very, very tasty. It's some crackers by Arnott's, and they are really good. And I just use Edam cheese, which again is a low fat cheese, but I can have quite a bit of it. I like cheese, so if you go for a high fat cheese, you're just going to increase your calorie count if you eat too much of a high fat cheese. Lunch is normally made up, I usually have either chicken or tuna sandwiches, but again just 3 slices of bread. Mid morning I might have a piece of fruit or a protein shake depending on what I'm doing training wise, and then in the evening I either have chicken, pork chops or steak, and with that I have a truckload of vegetables and just a small amount of potato, and that's basically my diet for most of the week, in fact all of the week. Now in that, and again working on 80-20 rule, is that you can have 20% of your meals as cheat meals. Now there are some people advocate a cheat day, and nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, you want to have a full day of just eat whatever you want. I do cheat meals, so I've worked it out. I have about 4 meals in a week that I can eat whatever I want, and so I oftentimes like to take one of my daughters out for dinner during the week. Then often they want fast food, so I reserve that particular meal as one of my cheat meals, and then it frees me up. I've got, over a weekend, I've got 3 meals that I can have. That doesn't matter what I eat. If somebody says, hey, let's go get pizza, well, hey, let's go get pizza. We can do that, and you can relax on that. And that comes back to actually guilt-free eating. And I'm going to reserve that for another video, because it's really important that while you're losing weight, and what I've discovered with and seen with people and talking with different people, is that if they go and have pizza or something, they feel horribly guilty and they don't feel good about themselves, and then they feel fat and everything else, where actually nothing has changed. But it's just the way they just load themselves with a lot of guilt. But that I'm going to reserve for another video. So that's kind of that. If you can get your diet under control with something that's very sustainable and works for you particularly, and the food that I eat, I actually look forward to eating it. Like it's not a chore. I don't have to be super disciplined about it. I don't have to have this massive willpower to be able to achieve that. So my challenge for you is to actually put yourself on this process of just changing one thing at a time and discovering what it is that you're actually going to enjoy to eat, but it's actually going to be good for you, and is actually going to cause you to actually start losing weight. And with that, once you've got what food you eat, then look at portion sizes and start to slowly decrease the amount that you eat. And you actually then, after a meal, instead of feeling absolutely bloated and full where you cannot move, that actually you feel good, you feel sharp still, because too much food can slow the mind down, slow the body down. All you want to do is sleep. But actually, if you learn and work out what portion size suit you best, you will feel better even after eating a reasonably good meal. So that's the importance of diet. Diet is absolutely number one. You can't out train a bad diet. So I would love to hear from you. I would love for you to subscribe, to like, comment. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know the process that you're on and where you're at. I'm Slim Down Daddy. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you next time.